They whispered in my ear, "We will not let you go, Daddy. We've got you now." Now, this was a game for them. It was not funny for me. I had to pry their little arms off of my neck. It was making me think.
I want to welcome you back again for another story answering the question, is God active? Today, I'm here with my good friend, Don MacLafferty, and we are excited to hear what he has to share because it's going to hit home to each one of us, mothers, fathers, grandparents, whoever you are, this is for you.
You know, I'm not proud to say that I have been a daddy that's been over-focused on my work over our kids at times. And especially in 1999, like God had to do something very dramatic to get my attention. And since then, I have been learning a new way to operate. But I will tell you, 1999, I was going, like pretty much 7 days a week, just going. And every evening I was out somewhere, and just following through with work, following through, interest, whatever, contacts. And so I remember this one night in 1999, my wife and I had just 2 of our 3 children at that time. So we have 3 today. So 2 children, just little kids. And I'm getting ready to go out the door to another meeting. And so it's past supper time. It's dark. Would have been a great time to play a game with the family, do something fun, just connect with my family.
Yeah.
But that was far from my mind. Like I was trucking. So I got all my stuff and it's a wintry night. I got my coat on just like this and I'm getting ready to go out the door. And Jason and Julie are just little kids. And they come running out, "Daddy, where are you going?" And that's kind of a crazy question because I always going out to the community, always going out to the town, always, working. So I said, "Well, I'm going to work." "Daddy, you don't play with us much anymore." Well, I got a little defensive. Well, that's not exactly true. I mean, I do play with you sometimes, and I do spend some time with you. "Daddy, you go all the time," they said. And they weren't being nasty. They were just like, they love me, and they just were trying to reach out to me. "Daddy, why don't you just stay home tonight? Just tonight, Daddy." They're pleading with me. And I looked at my watch and I said, "I am so sorry." I said, "I've got this important meeting. Like it's a really important meeting. We're gonna do this new building structure and everything we're gonna do. And aren't you so excited that Daddy's building a new building?" And they're like, "No, we're not so excited because another building project means Daddy's gonna be even less at home." And so they were not excited. "Come on, guys," I said, "I mean, isn't it exciting?" "No, they're not excited." I said, "Okay, Daddy has to go. Like I'm gonna have to run out the door or else I'm gonna be late to my appointment." And so I said, "Let me give you a kiss and a hug." So I reached down and I pulled them up to me and I give them a kiss and a hug and I said, "I gotta go." And they were like this, and they would not let me go. They were hanging on for dear life because we like to wrestle together, when they were little. So not now because they'd take me down. Yeah. But they were like holding on for dear life. And I said, "Kids, I've got to go. Daddy has to go." I had to be firmer. They whispered in my ear, "We will not let you go, Daddy. We've got you now." Now, this was a game for them. It was not funny for me because work is like, us as men, we are like really serious about our work. We got to be on time. We got to make it happen, make the connections happen, and I was very concerned I was going to lose that opportunity. And I had big guys waiting on me. So I started prying off. I didn't do it like ripping them off, but I had to pry their little arms off of my neck. It was making me think. I was thinking, sorry. And I got them like this, and I jump out the door, and the snow's coming down. And as I get ready to close the door, 2 little sets of hands are up like this, and they have tears, and they're weeping. Like it chokes me up, and they're like, "Daddy, come back home. Stay home with us tonight." Like they're pleading with me powerfully. But like I'm focused. Yeah. Us men can be very focused on work. So I closed the door gently so I didn't get their fingers in it, but then I'm like flying through the snow. So I'm trucking, out in the snow. And then I got another confrontation. Now that confrontation was from my first one was from my kids. This one is from that still small voice of God. Some people don't think that God still speaks. I absolutely know he still speaks. He spoke to my mind, to my heart, still small voice, and called me by name.
Really?
It was so clear. It was like dawn, but it wasn't to my ears. Again, it's just silently to my mind, to my heart. But it's so clear. I stop in the snow and I'm like, there's no one else out here. And I think, I know who that voice is. That's got to be God. And I said, yes. I'm not sure why he's calling me. I mean, I'm going to work. It's good work, Nothing wrong with my work. And so I said, yes. The still small voice of God said, Don, when Jesus comes again, he's not going to ask you about your building project. He's not going to ask you about all the good work you do in the community, helping this family, whatever. He's not going to ask you about that first. He's going to ask you about where is your wife and where are your kids. Now, because I believe my wife, at that time and still today, that she is covered by the grace of Jesus Christ, and she's given her heart to Jesus. So I was able to look up in the snow falling down. And I said, well, God, when Jesus comes again, my wife will be standing beside me when you come, because of Jesus Christ and his blood, his righteousness. And then I got ready to say that about Jason and Julie, and I realized I could not tell God that they would be ready, because I didn't even play with my kids enough to know them. Like, I don't even know their hearts. I don't even know what's going on here in their minds and their hearts, because I am too busy, I'm too rushed. It was a powerful, powerful confrontation. 2 confrontations in one night. First one, come home, Daddy. Second one is, Don, what are you really doing? What you're doing with your building projects and this and that is really not the biggest thing that he cares about. He cares about my own family.
There's a text in the Bible, and it comes out of Malachi. Malachi chapter 4, verse 5 and 6. And, it's not a very big chapter, but there's some powerful things in here. And this is what the Bible says. It says, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great and awesome day of the Lord comes. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest they come and strike the land with a decree of utter destruction. As you heard Don share the story of the prying off the fingers of his kids around his neck, pleading, Daddy, please come play. You might be a busy dad. You might be a busy grandpa. You might be a busy mom or a busy grandma. This call is for all of us. Because sometimes we get so focused on all these things that are right around us that the very things that are most precious, like the children and family around us, they're neglected. So I want to make a call to you today. If you find you have no time and the people around you are getting just the crumbs, may this be the voice of God to you saying, take time to invest in your children and your family while they still have them around you. God will help you, just like he helped my friend Don, which you'll hear in another time. And then I want to invite you back again to join us next week for another story answering the question, is God active? Thanks for watching today. I really hope these stories are bringing hope and courage to your life. Do you ever find yourself looking for answers? Or what about, are you ever in need of wisdom or guidance to make a good decision? Sometimes when people think about the Bible, they don't always think of it being as a place for practical advice, but it is. And I want to introduce you to the book of Proverbs. I want to go into Proverbs chapter 1, verses 1 to 3. And this is what the Bible says. These are the Proverbs of Solomon, David's son, king of Israel. Their purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline, to help them understand the insights of the wise. Their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives and to help them do what is right, just, and fair. How about making Proverbs part of your daily routine? There's 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. And so no matter what day of the month it is, if it's a 15th, you can turn to the 15th chapter of Proverbs. Doesn't matter what day it is. And just read through that and get the practical wisdom. Hope to see you next week. And remember, share with a friend.